Hey everybody, I'm the Otaku Artist, and just recently, sadly, the online for Wii U and 3DS shut down. Both systems held a lot of great memories for me playing online with friends or randos, and it's a little sad seeing them go. Before online shut down, I made a video and a couple of live streams documenting the online functions of the Wii U games I own. If you missed that video, it'll be in the eye icon in the top right corner and description below. I worked pretty hard on that video, so I'd appreciate it if you guys check that out. So, this is part 2 of that video, covering the online of the 3DS games, recorded before online shut down. Now, thankfully, most of the gameplay modes shown are also available in local play, so these modes aren't lost completely, just not as easily playable anymore. And thankfully, there's also Pretendo. Just like the Wii U video of mine, this will just be covering the 3DS games I own. Not every 3DS game with online functionality. Except Pokemon X and Moon. I may have forgotten about the online in those games, and then remembered as online was shutting down. Oops. Now, before we get into the games, one more thing. I want to give special thanks to the people who helped me make this video. I want to thank Jack the Lightning Ripper and James Money for helping me record some of this footage. I don't have a 3DS capture card, so special thanks to those two for helping record footage of a lot of the games shown. That being said, expect a mixture of both trailer footage of the games, Jack and James footage, as well as potato cam footage, as they didn't own all the games I'll be covering, so unfortunately, some of the games were recorded on my crappy little phone. I hope the video is still enjoyable though. Also, special thanks to the following for playing these games with me for footage or helping in some way for this video. Most of the people involved in helping me record or play these games were in the 3DS Cord server, so special thanks to that Discord server, because without it, this video wouldn't be possible. So, without further ado, let's take a trip down memory lane and play some 3DS games online for the last time. Animal Crossing New Leaf is a very, very special game to me. It's one of my favorite games of all time and has one of my favorite soundtracks ever. I've probably listened to all of the hourly songs in full dozens of times. I mean, the game came out in 2012? It's 2024 right now. So yeah, I've been listening to that soundtrack for 12 years now, so if I'm listening to a soundtrack of a game that long, I think that kind of shows you how good it is. New Horizons isn't as good, but that's a topic for another time. Now, New Leaf, I have so many fond memories of visiting friends' towns and playing minigames on Tortimer Island. Now, thankfully, you can still visit friends' towns with local play, as well as playing on Tortimer Island. But unfortunately, all dream addresses that weren't documented online in some way have become lost media with online down. Before online shut down, I visited some random dream addresses and the famous Ica Village. I actually made a video entirely on the towns I saw, Ica Village, and revisiting my own town after years. So if you're interested in seeing the full footage, go check them out. I visited 4 towns through dream addresses, first being Ica Village, a horror village that's very well known in the Animal Crossing community. Now, a lot of the story is left up to interpretation, and there's a lot of videos and threads online where people have explained the story, but this video isn't going to be me talking about the story. Maybe another time, but for now, this is just to document the village. Now, the last time I visited this village was years ago, and it's changed a lot since then. And unfortunately, I noticed that a lot of the creepy elements of the village have been changed or removed. Like, villagers no longer wear bloody clothing. I think the village was better and scarier the last time I played. However, it was still fun exploring it one last time. I have a feeling that maybe the reason why it was changed is maybe Nintendo got wind of it and took down the Dream Address for maybe going against some sort of terms of service for it not being super family friendly. But thankfully there are still a lot of the aspects of creepiness still there. And even with the changes, it was still fun exploring it one last time. After Ica Village, I explored 3 more towns. One submitted by... I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna try butchering that name. Which was a quaint little town that gave off old Animal Crossing vibes. And the second being submitted by Marzipan, which was an incredibly made village, totally not made via hacks, that gave off New Horizon vibes. And then for the last town, I just let the game randomly select one, which led me to the town of Splatoon. This town was not finished, but it was still built up a bit and very cool to see. Besides visiting towns via dream addresses, I completely forgot that you could also see other players' houses through Street Pass. I had a few still saved on there, and so I visited a few houses there as well. Being completely honest, I really did completely forget about this feature. Like, completely. Every time I've thought about New Leaf, this feature has not registered in my brain. But hey, it's a neat little thing they did with Street Pass, but I can see why it never returned. 'Cause, like, if you can already visit people's towns and houses through dream addresses, there's not really a reason to save people's houses, too, but oh well. Sorry, Digby. Guess this is why you never returned. Now, just like New Horizons, you can visit your friends' towns and check out dream addresses. But, unlike New Horizons, there is an island dedicated to playing minigames. And oh my god, it makes me so sad that this did not return in New Horizons. Welcome to Tortimer Island. Every day, a random assortment of different minigames are available to play, and you can play both with friends or online with random players. These games are very, very fun, and I spent a lot of time here years ago when I used to play New Leaf all the time. There's 12 different types of minigames, each with several different difficulties and variations. The different types are as followed. Now, those are just the different types, because, like, for example, Balloon Hunt, it's not just one mission. There's, like, a few different ones. So yeah, there's a ton of options. And it's such a shame that this never returned in New Horizons. Like, it's such wasted potential. Nintendo, what were you thinking? Like, even if there was nothing new added, I would have just been happy if they just included everything that was in New Leaf. Like, hell, I'd buy the DLC in a heartbeat if they added it into New Horizons that way. It saddens me so much that, like, New Leaf had the minigame island, and also you could use the Wii U or 3DS item to play minigames, or even Animal Crossing GameCube had NES games you could play. Just, I wish New Horizons had minigames. But hey, that's another topic for another video. Out of everything being lost with Nintendo shutting down online for 3DS and Wii U, I gotta say that this is the game I'm most sad about. I'll miss you, New Leaf. Thanks for all the great times. Triforce Heroes. Now, I loved this game so much when it came out. Now, I never got to play Four Swords, and I still haven't gotten to play it with anyone still. So, when this was announced, I was ecstatic. I could finally play multiplayer Zelda. And when it came out, I fucking adored it, man. I would play it every day with randos, and I loved it. I loved a lot of the music, I liked trying to communicate with emotes, even if it wasn't the best, and I just had a lot of fun playing the levels. However, with all that praise said, I never actually beat Triforce Heroes until a few months ago. When the game first came out, I played for a good bit and then I took a few months break from the game after getting stuck in the absolutely evil Den of Trials. Now, that I will never even attempt to defend. That area is terrible. I never even ended up beating that optional area. So, anyways, after coming back from taking a break from the game, I tried playing online with randos as usual and no one was playing. The game was like a wasteland, and so not having any friends to play with and refusing to play the absolutely horrid single-player mode, I stopped playing. Now fast forward many years later to now, and I decide that I'm finally gonna beat the game, replaying through it with Jason and my friend Izzy, who had never played the game before. So, you remember how I said I loved the game and adored it? Well, unfortunately, my friends did not feel the same way. Both of them hated it with a passion. Now the thing is, they do have a lot of valid points, and as much as I love the game, it has a lot of flaws. Some of the levels in this game are just horribly designed, and bosses can be hit or miss. One thing they both hated that I agree with is the final boss. That took us hours to beat. It's probably the worst boss in the Zelda series, and one of the worst final bosses I've ever faced, period. And those many hours we spent trying to beat it were very frustrating. I think I probably stayed the most calm, the longest, but all of us were very miserable during that final boss. Unfortunately, I can't say I had much fun replaying Triforce Heroes, since I was the only one for the most time enjoying the game. Like, I would be having a good time and being like, man, I love the music in this area and stuff, and then just Jason would be screaming about it, and Izzy would just sound sad. Now, despite all that raging and my friends not having a good time with the game, something funny happened to us when we were playing that made us laugh. So, for some reason, when Izzy tried connecting to friend lobbies, her 3DS would just not connect. So, for us to play Triforce Heroes, we just connected through public lobbies. And since we were the only ones playing, we normally would connect with each other right away. Except, this one time, Jason stepped away from the group call for a minute, and so it was just Izzy and I. We were trying to connect with each other, and Izzy and I connected, and we connected to a lobby with a rando. And this poor guy was probably waiting ages to play with someone since this game is dead. So when they saw us, they spammed the hello emote, and then both Izzy and I spammed no, and fucking left the poor guy. I'm so sorry, random player. I hope you found someone to play with. Oh, and this game also has a versus mode called the Coliseum that I forgot about until after online shut down, so I didn't replay that one. Oops. I did play a little bit of this when the game first came out, but not much. Basically, it's a versus mode with two options. 1 versus 1, or free-for-all with 3 players. There is a small arena that represents each of the areas of the game, and most of the areas have items that each player can use to attack. The goal is to suffer the least amount of damage and KOs within the time limit. So yeah, that's basically that mode. I hope we get another multiplayer Zelda game sometime, even if I'm in the minority in my friend group. I had a great time with this game, and would love to play more multiplayer Zelda once again. Huh. I'm assuming most of us forgot about this game. I honestly didn't even remember that I owned this game until looking through my backloggery for 3DS games with online. and I don't think I've heard a single person talk about this game. Now, this is the only Mario Tennis game I own, and I'm not sure what everyone's opinion is on the game or how it compares to other Mario Tennis games, but I remember really enjoying it when it came out. I didn't, love it. It's just kind of a fun mid-game, but I do remember liking it and playing online a lot when it came out. Jason, who recorded gameplay of it with me, loves it and used to play it a ton years ago. I had a pretty fun time replaying it again. Although for most of the rounds I had auto walk on by mistake, which made things very unfair. Oops. I had a lot more fun with replaying this game than I thought, and honestly, if I ever played it earlier, I probably would have ended up playing it with Jason more often because it was pretty damn fun. Can't say I'm really that interested in buying another Mario Tennis game, but I'd play it with someone if they had a Mario Tennis game. Nintendo, please remake this game for Switch or make a sequel. We are begging you. Ugh, Kid Icarus Uprising is one of the best games on the 3DS. It's just, oh my god, such a great game. If you guys remember my Too Many Games 2023 vlog, you'll remember that I mentioned that I saw a Let's Play of this game years ago, and was finally playing it myself for the first time. Well, since that video, I have beaten it, and it was great. I adored it. However, I did not touch the multiplayer mode at all, so for this video, it was my first time trying it out. Jack and I played both of the two multiplayer modes, starting with Free For All. Free For All is basically a versus mode, where it's player versus player. You can adjust some settings, like how long each match is, and whoever gets the most kills within the time limit wins. The other mode we tried was Light versus Dark. Both modes were fun and all, but I definitely prefer this one. However, I do want to say, I do struggle with the controls for this game a bit, so it was kind of difficult playing these modes. Like, already in the campaign mode, I already was dying a lot. In Light versus Dark, there's two teams. Since it was just Jack and I, the rest of the players were AIs. Basically, each team tries to get as many kills as they can, and when the teams start to lose, one player from each team will get a power-up, as in they turn into Dark Pit and Pit. Then the goal changes a bit. You gotta defeat the newly powered-up player. I liked it, it was fun for what it is, but I can say that the main appeal of the game is obviously the single-player mode. But I do like how this was added as a little bonus side mode. I think I would have enjoyed it more, though, with more players and if the controls were a little better. And once again, Nintendo, I ask you, please make another Kid Icarus game. I'm begging you. Okay, first things first, this game is not bad. I know this game gets a really bad reputation, but hear me out. This is a game that is pretty fun and a decent Metroid spin-off, but released at the worst time possible. For those who don't know, and I didn't even know this because I wasn't a Metroid fan until recently, when this game released, Metroid fans were dying for a new game. The last Metroid game that released before Federation Force was Other M, released 6 years before, and everyone kinda knows how the majority opinion of that game is real bad. Although, disclaimer, I actually love that game, although I am very much in the minority opinion. So, after people assumed the series was dead after that, getting a spin-off that barely has Samus in it pissed people off. The game sold very, very poorly, and because of that, we're definitely not gonna see another one of these. Which is a shame because it's a good game. I really enjoyed playing this through with Jason a few months ago, and we beat the whole story campaign mode. It was our first time playing the game, and it was a lot of fun. Some of the levels do have their problems, and I have some minor complaints like the option for costumes being limited and not great, but it's an underrated game that should be played by more people. And hell, I liked it enough that I'll probably 100% it someday. Besides the main campaign, I tried my hands on the bonus mode, Blast Ball, for the first time. And, yeah, I was, insanely bad at it, and I did not like it. It's a 3-on-3 team versus mode that's, soccer. There's not much to say about it other than the AIs are very, very mean, and it's very annoying when you get hit by the ball, since you have to make your way to the mech to continue playing. So the first team to hit the ball into the other team's goal 3 times wins, and it's not a good mode. Do not like, do not like. I did love the story campaign though. I see what they were going for, but honestly, this game did not need that side mode at all. Goodbye, Federation Force. You were a decent game released at the worst time possible. And, I know we'll never get another one, but, like, let's say the 0.0001% chance happens and we do. Don't make soccer return. Please don't. I love Luigi's Mansion. Who doesn't? I love the creepy atmosphere that the original has. Dark Moon's pretty fun, and 3 is just a masterpiece. Now, I never beat Dark Moon. The game was fun, but I disliked how long each level took. The reason I stopped though is because I got to a specific level where Luigi has to balance on a board, or he'll fall over into a pit and die. So you tilt the 3DS to balance him, and either I was just terrible at this, or my 3DS is messed up in some way because he would normally walk on the board for like 2 seconds before immediately falling and die. And it's really weird because I never had any issues with the gyro control on my 3DS in any other game, just this one. So I really don't understand what's wrong, but oh well. This was at the very end of a 40-minute level, and after a few tries of having to restart the entire level just to get to that point and die again, I just gave up. Apparently I got most of the Dark Moon pieces and was towards the end of the game too, so it's a shame I had to stop. Now, story mode aside, I did play the online multiplayer a little bit when the game came out, but not much. When Jack and I played it, it was honestly really surprising in how much I enjoyed it. It was very, very similar to Luigi Mansion 3's online mode. Now, there's 3 modes, each having different settings where you can change how many floors there are and such. The goal of each mode is to complete every floor, and for each mode, every 5 floors is a boss. And once you beat a floor, you get a very limited amount of time to collect a few red coins. If you don't collect them all though, that's alright, you don't get penalized. But if you do collect them, one player will randomly get a buff, which is extremely helpful. At first, collecting the coins seemed impossible, but as long as you have good teamwork and direct each other, it becomes a breeze collecting the coins. The first mode is Hunter mode, which was Jack and my favorites by far. It was extremely fun, and honestly, I wish I had played more of this when I first played Dark Moon. Basically, you have to defeat every ghost on each floor. It's very simple, and a ton of fun. I enjoy this mode so much. The second mode is Rush mode, which, both of us could not beat. It's extremely difficult, and I only see this being completed reasonably if you have a full party of 4 players. It's a time limit mode where you have hardly any time, and to collect more time, you have to defeat Ghost, all while searching for the exit, where every player has to reach it in time. And, this happened. Thanks, game. Appreciate it. Now the last mode is Polterpup mode. It's really not that interesting. Like, it's fun, but really easy, and I greatly prefer Hunter mode. I do like what it's going for, though. Basically, you have to defeat all Polterpups. Now, unlike the ghosts, the pups behave a bit differently. First, you have to find the doghouse to summon them, and then using X-ray glasses you can find, or your dark light device, you can find little paw prints and clues to find out where they went. They always hide in objects, some that are invisible until you use your dark light device on them. From what little we played, there was only 2 to 3 pups, so it was very easy. I think I would have liked this mode more if I played on a harder difficulty with more floors, but hey, I still liked it. I do like how each of the 3 modes were different, and yeah, I can say it gave a good sense of variety. And hey, with the Switch port of this game releasing soon, this mode is not lost. Hooray! I'm assuming there may be differences, but it's nice to see that everyone will be able to play these modes again soon. Now, the last game I'll be talking about is Mario Kart 7. I'm a huge Mario Kart fan, and just like most Mario Kart games, I adored this one and played it for hours. Online play is always my favorite part of Mario Kart games that have online, and so I would play online with randos for hours. Mario Kart 8 is pretty much better in every way to Mario Kart 7, but 7 is still a great game. I had a lot of fun replaying Mario Kart 7 for this video, and it honestly surprised me how I forgot the many differences from 7 to 8. First off, the games both control very differently, and I honestly forgot that this was the Mario Kart that introduced both underwater and flying sections. There's also only one item slot which goes away if you fall off the stage, which was a bit annoying to get used to. It was fun playing on some tracks that sadly didn't return to 8, such as the Wii Sport Resort tracks or Shy Guy Bazaar. Honestly, 7 just has a pretty good track selection. Even though I'll pretty much always play 8 over 7, it is a shame though that I won't be able to play online anymore, as playing with people is always my favorite part of revisiting past Mario Kart entries. And with that, online on the 3DS and Wii U comes to an end. Now there's a few small things I didn't cover, like the eShop, internet browser, which is not good, unlike the Wii U version, 3DS Badge Arcade, and Spot Pass, but I covered the majority of the line that I would play on my 3DS. I also forgot to cover Pokemon, of course, but I also forgot to replay Fire Emblem Fates for this video. So sorry about that. I do have Fates. I remember that you're able to battle other people's castles through that, but I really don't remember anything other than that, so. Forgot a few games, but this was the majority of it. I'm curious to hear your guys' experience with playing online with the 3DS. So comment below your guys' memories and experiences. Whenever something is discontinued, it always saddens me a bit, as unfortunately, a lot of things nowadays will all eventually turn into inaccessible media, and some lost media. But it was a good time experiencing some of that for the last time. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, why not check out my other videos on Wii U and 3DS Online? As I mentioned before, I have a video just like this one all about Wii U Online. I have the VODs for the Wii U live streams I did covering online, as well as the bonus mini videos on Animal Crossing, such as revisiting my New Leaf town, visiting random dream addresses, and of course, Ica Village. Thank you, Nintendo, for all the fond memories on Wii U and 3DS. It was truly a great time and probably my favorite time to be a Nintendo fan, even if the Wii U was not doing the best at the time. So, I'm the Otaku Artist, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!